Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer Clark. I am a National Vice President with Arbonne. If you are watching this video, then you have taken the leap to give the Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living and Beyond Challenge a go. I am so proud of you guys. Congratulations. And if you're watching this, then perhaps you are like me and you are a shift worker and are wondering how you can make this program work while working unpredictable hours or kind of the non-traditional hours. So my background is as a registered nurse. I typically work night shifts, so 12-hour night shifts and some day shifts. And rest assured, guys, I am here to tell you that you can be successful on this journey as well, even though you may work non-traditional hours in a different schedule than most people, perhaps one that has a little bit more unpredictability and some extra little things that you have to think through. But guys, you can totally do this, and we are all here to support you. So I'm going to provide you all with a couple tips that will hopefully make this journey a little bit more simple for you, and also a little bit of a glimpse into my routine when I am doing the 30-day challenge, as how I make that work with my work schedule. So some of my tips, guys. My first one is meal prep. This is gonna be your savior whether you are on shift or whether you're not. Guys, pick one of your days off and make a meal plan. Take a look at all the recipes that we have to offer for some ideas. If you're someone who's maybe just not used to cooking as much, or might feel like you're trapped within like a couple ideas that you have, broaden those horizons, get a little out of your comfort zone and try some new recipes. I love crock pot recipes. I've got some great ones that reheat really well, because my go-to is to do some meal prep and one of my days off, and then I have leftovers to kind of help that I can take to work with me and just heat up at work. And that is hands down one of the best ways that you can be successful on this program, because I feel like we kind of get into trouble, or we eat the things that we shouldn't, or we cave to temptation when we don't have healthy options readily available to us. So that's going to be your number one key through this month, is to have those healthy options available. That also can mean packing lots of extra snacks, healthy approved snacks, into your bag. Some of my favorite ones include green apple with almond butter. I love having just some raw almonds, some hummus, and sugar snap peas. That's another good one. Maybe some carrots, some peppers, and hummus. All great options. Even brown rice cakes are great with some hummus on them. Tons of options, but make sure you provide yourself with a little bit of a variety, because if you're anything like me on a night shift, you may not know what you're in the mood for, and it may be an adjustment, guys, to have, want to eat vegetables on a night shift. Honestly, I'm like, oh gosh, all you want is comfort food, right? But this is where we are going to start creating some new healthy habits, and I promise it might be a little uncomfortable at first, but you'll learn to love it, and it'll start to become some really great habits that are going to serve you for the future. So hang in there. We are in this together. So lots of extra snacks. One of my other tips is also to maybe think about having your last kind of like a breakfast. I'm going to go through my routine in a little bit, but like a breakfast or the last larger meal that you eat, maybe being at like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. So this might be different than when you're used to getting home and then eating a meal, eating breakfast, or if you work a day shift, a long day shift, then, scarfing down a large meal at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. Let's try and avoid that for this month, because we really want to allow our bodies like at a 10 to 12-hour window where we can just rest and digest. And it's so good for us to not go to sleep with that heavy, food-filled belly. So you can wake up feeling more refreshed. And like I said, it really helps with your digestive system to then not just go lay down right after eating. So I want to encourage you all to do that. Fill yourself with something yummy, like maybe some oatmeal, some fresh berries, maybe even pack like a pre-made kind of like little breakfast sandwich, and you can heat that up at work. Whatever it might be that might work for you, or maybe even just another shake too, coming before you leave work, because then that can really help fill your belly. And I don't know about you guys, but oftentimes when I get home, I like look at my fridge and my cabinets and I want to eat everything in sight. So it'll avoid doing that too. Just kind of train your brain to be like, I'm home and I'm not gonna go through my cabinets. I've already eaten something healthy. I'm good. I'm gonna like enjoy my evening, or I'm gonna go to bed. And another tip that I have too is sometimes our shifts, they can be really overwhelming, right? When we work like multiple days in a row, we really feel like all we do is work. I want to really encourage you guys to provide a little bit of time to make sure that you're exercising, that you're moving your body. It's going to be so good, like again, for your digestive system, for your mental health. Give yourself that little break, get yourself some fresh air. It can really do wonders for well-being in general. And then here's another tricky one too, which you'll see like kind of in our 30-day guide, is the importance of sleep. So I laugh at this because I'm horrible at prioritizing my sleep. I will be the first one to admit that. But I will say that I do feel better when I prioritize my sleep, and sometimes it's really hard, especially when you're sleeping during the day. But I want to encourage you all to think of this 30 days not just as like a way to get your diet more in line, but think of it as like a holistic view, your whole body. Create some other healthy habits that are going to just create greater wellness in your body as a whole. And that can include moving your body with exercise and making sure you're getting enough sleep, as well as these adjustments to your diet. So those are some of my top tips. One of the things that I like to do, if we circle back to exercising real quick, is I'll just take a quick walk around my block with my dogs when I get home from a shift. Yeah, sometimes I'm really tired, but it always is a little bit energizing for me. It makes me feel good and kind of decompress from the shift by getting a little bit of that fresh air. And then that sometimes is also the same when I wake up. I like to just take a little walk, maybe just do a little home workout, whatever it might be. I know a lot of us are kind of feeling some constrictions due to the COVID, changes, but do what you can to just move your body. So a little bit of my routine real quick. So if I am coming into like my first night shift on, I typically take a little bit of a nap and then I wake up. Sometimes I'll actually have a little bit of a meal before going into my shift, but I always will pack a protein shake to take out the door with me. And I love protein shakes. You'll see tons of recipes that we have. You can really mix it up however you would like. I usually keep mine pretty simple if I'm on the go like that. But you can, sky's the limit on different flavors and different varieties that you can make. So you can mix it up every day. So I'll typically drink my protein shake on my way into work, or I'll have it a couple hours into my shift, depending on kind of how I'm feeling, what my day is looking like, or my evening, I should say. And then I will have like one of my first larger meals of the day between, 11 p.m., maybe by midnight. And then I will have another snack around like 2 o'clock. One of the things that we also want to do, guys, is make sure you're eating every 4 hours. That can be so hard, right? When you're working a shift where you don't know what your day is going to be like. But it's really important for your metabolism to keep up with that 4 hours. And we don't want to put our body into kind of like starvation mode. And then honestly, like you're just going to want to eat everything that's in sight, right? It's another way to just kind of help yourself keep on track. So do your best to do that. If you can't manage that, if you have a crazy shift, that's okay. But remember all those extra snacks that I told you to pack too? You can maybe grab one of those. Oh, I forgot to mention protein bars. I love making the homemade protein bars. So make sure you make a batch of those, and you'll always have those available too. Those are a great one. But yeah, so do the best you can to keep up with it. If you have a crazy day, it's okay, guys. Just, do the best you can, and tomorrow's a new day. It's all good. So then maybe around like 2 o'clock, perhaps I'll have another snack. And typically that's when I have my detox tea. Anyone who works night shift, that's when like your hypothermia hits, and detox tea always tastes so good and feels so good, getting that nice little warmth into you. And then I'll have like a breakfast, like I was mentioning before, around like 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. Some timing so that when I go home and I leave my shift around 7:30 or so, I'm not running home and just running straight to my fridge and my cabinet, something to hold me over. Another side note, guys, I will recommend stop drinking your fizz. Maybe everyone's different. It's going to affect you differently. I try and stop drinking my fizz by like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Because I have noticed that sometimes it can be difficult to fall asleep if you still have that kind of in your system. So be mindful of that, because it does have a little bit of caffeine in it. So it will probably keep you up because it's been, keeping you alive through your shift. So be careful about the timing of your consumption of that. Make sure you're drinking a ton of water during your shifts. Dehydration can also make you feel real crummy and slow down your digestive system. So those are some of my tips for those of us who work shift work in non-traditional hours. I hope you found them helpful. Just remember, guys, we are all in this together. You are going to do an amazing job on this 30-day challenge. I just know it, and we are here to support you. So please reach out with any questions you might have. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.